right, everybody's here. And the microphone's screwed up. Oh, come on, don't give me a hard time. There. Come on, jeez. All right, let's get started. Broadcasting live. No, we don't want that. No. No. Damn tablet. As I was saying, broadcasting live from beautiful 15-degree downtown Cleveland. It's station WDWL TV, home of not one but 2 stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And your host, as usual, is the grumpy old man. And our show is brought to you by Grumpy Vulture Productions. No bow. See you bye. Yep, beautiful 15-degree downtown Cleveland. I had to go out today. I hate, when I park the car, 99.9% of the time, I raise the wipers. Well, not last night. Or I should say the day before, because I didn't take it out yesterday. Them goddamn things were frozen to the windshield. And, if you're not careful with them, you destroy them. So I got out my little small snow scraper and with a tap, 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 and got one loose. And tap, 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 got the other one loose. And then I had like the hell with it. Took the wiper and beat it against the windshield 3 or 4 times. Took the other wiper arm, beat the wiper against the windshield. Scraped all the ice off. Although I'll tell you what. The best, I'm, what's the word? Cheap. That purple windshield washer fluid by Rain-X, I'll tell you what, it's like $6 a gallon, worth every penny. Because I'll tell you what, a few shots of that stuff on the windshield and that ice just vanishes. Oh, yeah, Kathy, it eliminates a lot of headache. First of all, every time they freeze to the windshield, if you're not careful removing them, you're gonna screw them up. And wiper blades ain't cheap. Although I get mine, believe it or not, off of Temu for like $2 a blade. Matter of fact, just before the snow hit, our first snow, I bought 2, 4, 6. I bought 8 blades. It was $20, with tax and shipping. And I keep them in the trunk. And if I screw up a blade, I can pop it off, throw it away, put a new one on. But that Rain-X purple windshield washer fluid has got a de-icer in it. And if you spray enough on the windshield, it will apply Rain-X, and the ice is easier to get off. just before winter every year, I make sure that I empty the tank for my windshield washer fluid. And then I buy, God, last winter I bought a case because it was on sale. This year I couldn't catch the case deal, and I buy 2 gallons at a time. It is the greatest stuff on earth. Rain-X de-icing windshield fluid. It's purple. They have an orange one. I can't remember what the orange one. I think the orange one is, no, the green one is for bugs. I can't remember what the orange, but the purple, that has the de-icer in it. And I swear by that stuff. Yeah, in order to get in the habit, put a little note on your dashboard. And then after a couple of times, you'll get into the habit. Before you go in the house, just lift the wipers. It saves blades. I'll tell you, it saves wiper blades. Because, first of all, they're not stuck to the windshield. And you can scrape the ice easier. And 9 times out of 10, if you've got the blade off the windshield, you just kind of tap it a couple of times and the ice will come off. But I forgot although I didn't think it was going to snow. You know, I look out the window, I'm like, holy yutcha-fuck, look at that white shit all over the place out there. So next time you're around an auto parts store, sometime the drugstores will carry it. Matter of fact, I've seen the Rain-X fluid at Family Dollar. But get a gallon of purple. Because it is great. And what I do, matter of fact, I did it today because I had to go up to the store. When the weather gets in the teens, I get 90% alcohol and I add it to the purple. And if you got the defroster on high, you'll get a buzz. But when the weather gets in the teens and we're going to have freezing, I get a bottle of 90% alcohol and but next time, give it a try. Get yourself a gallon of purple Rain-X windshield washer fluid, and I'll tell you what, you'll never use anything else. I can't remember the orange. The orange is like summertime use. I know the green is for bug removal. Like if you're, some areas you'll drive in and out of swarms of mosquitoes and what have you. Yeah, any of the Rain-X, I'll tell you, I spend the money. I don't buy the cheap generic anymore. Well, Kathy, it's like the first snow in Cleveland. You got people like me live here all their life. And the first snowfall, they drive like idiots. And then they wonder why they get in an accident. Well, you can't get on the freeway when it's got ice and snow and do 70 miles an hour, you idiot. You know, these people, oh, I got a 4x4. Yeah, 4x4 is great until you hit black ice. You could have a 6x6 or an 8x8. You hit black ice at 50, 60 miles an hour. Woohoo! But yeah, everybody has to relearn how to drive that first snowfall. Yeah, go ahead, rub it in, Lynx, for upper 70s. Yeah. I'll be thinking you when you're in triple digits in the summer. And I'm sitting here at a nice 78 degrees, you know. The the big excuse, Kathy, a friend of mine was in the traffic unit in Cleveland for years, and the big excuse, I got cut off. Well, how fast were you going? 62. You see the weather? You know, there's ice and snow. You're doing 62, and you think if somebody, cuts you off, you're going to be able to stop on a dime? No, you stopped in the ditch on your roof. At least the car stopped. All the snow is gone, 46 degrees. That's good. I don't want a lot of snow on my future Bronco. Uh-oh. Oh, I've seen a lot of that. People go, they don't realize that there is air pressure around a big rig. They have proven that on the back, if a rig is doing at least 50, when the air comes off the side of that trailer, it swirls like a tornado and it will literally pull you in. And if you don't have 100% control of your car, uh-oh. That's why a lot of these new trailers have those panels that go all the way down the side of the trailer. They're about maybe 6 inches above the ground. It's to prevent all them wind effects because people drive like assholes. Yeah, well, right. Right. But do people have common sense? No, because whether it be rain or dry pavement or snow, they stick to their old routine. Well, it's only going to take me 15 minutes to get to work. They get on the freeway. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Leave a little bit early. Drive a little bit slower. Put eyes 360. Look in your mirrors. See what's going on behind you besides in front of you. Look, see what's going on beside you. It's ridiculous. They think, okay, I can drive at 70 miles an hour in the summer. I'll just drive at 70 miles an hour in the winter. I got four-wheel drive, all-wheel drive. I got decent tires until they hit that black ice. You know, over the years, side view mirrors have gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. But do people use them? No. God, take a look at a 2025 F350. Those things got mirrors as big as goddamn bathroom mirrors. Do people use them? No. That was one thing. When I learned to drive, my father beat into my head and literally use them side mirrors. That's why I love electric mirrors. Because you don't have to, oh, it was a pain in the ass. You'd lean over and you'd adjust it, and or you'd have to get a buddy, sit in the car and adjust my mirror, I have mine set perfect. I've got my right mirror. It's aimed just a little bit where I can see the lower part of the quarter panel. That way, like when I'm backing up the driveway, I can see the edge of my driveway with no problem. I'll tell you what, when that car, when I got it running and started driving it, and it didn't have, because both of the side view mirrors were busted. Oh my God. Even with a backup camera, I was having a bitch of a time backing that car up. And then you're going down the road and, you're relying on that rearview mirror up on the windshield. You can't see. Oh, I have to have my mirrors. I have to have my mirrors. I keep forgetting. I have to get one of them little parabolic mirrors. They look like a little cone, they're oval. I always put one of them in the corner of each mirror because they really help. They really do. And they stick on, and if you don't like them, you pop them off, take a little alcohol, clean the glue off. You can get them at Mark's for 99 cents for a pair. But I like them little parabolic mirrors. They just add a little extra. But I'm a mirror fanatic. Oh. And then, one of the first things I installed was a backup camera. I got the kit, goes into the rear view mirror. But I'm also going to install a secondary backup camera. Tomorrow, yeah, it's not in here right now. Tomorrow I'll show you the screen that I'm going to mount on the dash. And that one, what I'll do, I'll use that like a rear view mirror. Because that one will be mounted up like at roof level, looking out the back window. And then I'll turn that one on, and the screen will be an auxiliary rearview mirror. Plus, it's another toy to put in the car. Man, I'll tell you what. Oh, am I? Oh, talk about pissed off. Trying to program that new monitor is like rocket science. There are 10 pages. 10 pages of different items you have to program. And you can't skip any of these, because if you skip deliberately or accidentally, it erases everything you put in and it goes back to blank. There are 10 different pages of settings that you have to install on that goddamn monitor before you can use it. I finally emailed the company, and I explained to them, I'm not a gamer, unless you call solitaire a gamer. I don't have a high-speed graphics card. I bought this monitor because, first of all, it was larger. I got a good price. It has more pixels per square inch, which means it has more vibrant color. It's easier on the eyes because it has a built-in blue light thingy. So they emailed me back. They're on Pacific time. They told me they will call me at noon, their time. Which is 3 o'clock our time. But they assured me, we will call you at 12 noon. And we will step you through every single step to set that monitor. Because I literally told them in an email, I'm going to put it back in the box and return it. I am so aggravated, I'm about ready to put my fist through it. Because in order to program it, you don't need, a fancy graphics card. You don't need, the latest CPU in your computer. You hook it to a computer in order to turn it on. And then the first thing you do is set input, HDMI. Then comes the setting screens. I started out today, I was like, all right, I don't need that. And I skipped it. And when I hit save, it wiped everything out and took me back to the top again. So I went down the thing. I was like, I don't need this. And I skipped it. Not paying attention. I should read instructions thoroughly. Wiped out everything that I put in. So I emailed the company. And I said, if your tech support can't give me any help, I'm reboxing it and returning it. I got an email back. Please, sir, don't give our monitor a chance. We will call you at noon tomorrow, and a technician will step you through all 10 pages. Thank God. And like he told me, 80% of this shit is for high-speed gaming. And like he told me, oh, well, maybe one day you want to play the latest edition of Grand Theft Auto. No, I don't play games on my computer. But in order to get this monitor to work, you have to set every stinking item, and 80% of it isn't even going to pertain to me web surfing. Matter of fact, the guy said in the email, he goes, didn't you realize it was a gaming monitor? Yeah, it says so right in the gaming. We went back and forth with a couple of emails, and I told him, I said, I've got an LG gaming curved monitor. I said, it's a 34-inch. You were the only ones to offer a 40, because the next step up was 49, and it would have been too big to fit on the console here. So I said, I bought it for several reasons. One, special sale, 50% off. The guys come back and even, really? Where? I said, Walmart, I said, second of all, it's the latest technology. Wide screen quads, I don't even know what all the letters stand for. It has more pixels per square inch, which gives you more vibrant color. It has a faster refresh rate. But I said, I don't game. I bought it because of the price for one and the features. So they said basically, they don't do what they're going to do tomorrow. But they feel sorry for the old man, because I literally said, I'm ready to box it and send it back. And see, this monitor is fairly new on the market, because they asked me if after 3 months, if I would review it. And I said, yeah, but my review is going to be worthless, because you got gamers out there that want to know every little feature of this monitor, and I'm not going to use that 80% of the shit that I have to program into it. Because my LG was almost plug and play. There were the brightness setting, and I had to do language first of all, and then the brightness setting and the contrast and the backlight. That was it. And it was very easy to program. And this LG monitor, I think, knows I bought a new one. Because this morning, when the computer booted up, I went through about 15 minutes of off, on, off, on, off, on, off, on. So I hooked the new one to my little small form factor Dell computer so that I could program it. And the first thing that popped up was input, display port or HDMI. I put in HDMI, enter. Then come up the first of 10 screens. I finally gave up. Luckily, there's an email address in the manual. I emailed them, and they got back to me right away. The prosecutor? No. So tomorrow I will leave her another voicemail. And I'm going to tell her it's a waste of my time. You can forthwith me all you want. I am not going down to the Justice Center to appear in court. Plain and simple. The only thing I've got to say is, yes, I own the vehicle. I wasn't in it. I wasn't even notified. Basically, had my son not seen all the flashing lights outside, I wouldn't have known until I walked out and saw all the damage and the tire marks in my front yard. Police didn't bother to wake me up. My kid doesn't bother to wake me up. 6:30 in the morning. It's not like you're waking me up at 2 a.m. No, they didn't bother because it was shift change. Well, maybe before they put me in the handcuffs, I can send a text message. Otherwise, there won't be a show. If there isn't a show, you'll know I'm wearing silver bracelets, eating bologna sandwiches. And I am about to email the president of city council because I have emailed my councilman twice and he has fucking ignored me 2 times. And the reason he's ignoring me is I put in the email, don't have your staff call me. You call me. And I think the reason he's ignoring me is I said, I'm starting to rethink why I voted for you. He was probably like, delete. So I am going to send one more email. And if I don't get a response, I will email the president of city council and say, hey, you better have a little chat with this guy because he's got a pissed off constituent that can really make some stink. Because I'll call 3, 5, 8, and 19. And if Channel 25 is still going, I'll call them too. And then they can bring their cameras out and we can kind of hide and film the cars blowing the stop sign. Yeah. Live from Cleveland City Jail, it's the severely condensed version of the Grumpy Old Man Show. A little crooked here, come on. Yeah, get on that phone that they have with the video, Coming to you live, wearing an orange jumpsuit. It's the imprisoned Grumpy Old Man. And unfortunately, my lawyer is in Nevada. My alternate lawyer is somewhere between Scottsdale and Tempe preparing to move. I don't know. Are you going that direction, Ron? Which direction are you going? Between Tempe and Scottsdale, or I don't have my map out to see which direction your new house is going to be. Yeah, I'll ask the judge. Can my attorney appear by Zoom? Well, why is that, Mr. Grumpy? Because he's in Arizona. I don't think he has a license to practice in Ohio. He's giving me legal advice. Southeast of Tempe, okay. Your Honor, he's southeast of Tempe. You can't miss him. He's the guy with the flaming bowling shoes. And the flaming bowling ball. And he's still looking for the cricket in his bedroom. Or did you finally find the son of a bitch? Oh shit, I forgot to eat. Oh man. I forgot to text Marianne to see if she'd got the kitten. Now I'm starting to worry about that little thing. I'll tell you, if it wouldn't create a war in this house, I would take him. Oh, he is so cute. Did you deep fry him, Ron? In Vietnam, deep fried crickets are a delicacy. Ugh. Yeah, they deep fry crickets. And then they mix them in with their rice and vegetables. Talk about gagging one night. Woman goes to the open air market, gets a bag full of crickets, comes home. They got the hot oil in the middle of the kitchen table. She takes a handful out, throws them in, swirls them around into her chop suey or whatever the hell it is. The only funny part of that was a couple of crickets escaped and they had a cat, and the cat was chasing the crickets. Oh, I'll tell you, so far there's no color. But that 40-inch screen is going to look impressive if I ever get it programmed. Oh yeah, crickets, and then they look like fucking mealworms. She got a bag of. They look like mealworms. Deep fried them. I was gagging watching that. But they probably watch American TV and see a spam commercial and go, "Oh God, how do they eat that shit?" I have to get some more. I'm all out. I'm going to have to order from Hormel. That way I can get order a case and I can get Tabasco and bacon flavor. I think those are the only two I'll get. Tabasco and bacon flavor. Because the stores around here, they don't sell. The only thing I see is the regular, the low sodium, and the turkey spam. Blah. But you can't get the Tabasco, you can't get the bacon flavor unless you order from Hormel direct. And I think you have to order 12 cans. I'm pretty sure that's the minimum. But I could break it up 6 and 6 with no problem. I tried the teriyaki. That's shit. The jalapeno ain't bad. Maybe I'd order like 6 cans of Tabasco, 4 cans of bacon, and 2 cans of jalapeno. Yeah, watching that woman take a handful of crickets out of the bag and throw them in that hot oil, and a couple of them were escaping over the edge of the pan, going, "Hey, it's hot in here." Then they gather them back up, throw them in, give them a little swirl. Who wants more? Me. Can I have some more? Sure. You can have mine. Didn't mean to offend you. It's just I swore off crickets for my blood pressure. Some of the shit they eat over there. Oh, God. I'll never forget, I saw Anthony Bourdain and his secretary. She was Korean. And they went to Korea. And she visited her parents, and then they went to the fish market. And boy, I'll tell you what, you talk about fish from A to Z. So they stopped at this one stand, and his secretary was like, "We have to order, we have to order." So they ordered 2 plates, one for him, one for her. And you don't see it, but you hear this guy with his big hatchet going whack, 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 whack. And when they served the plate up, it was live octopus legs. And they dip them in hot sauce and down the hatch. Because she told Anthony, you got to swallow them, otherwise they'll get stuck to your tongue or the roof of your mouth. And then you got to try to pry them off. So you dip them in the hot sauce, it kind of stuns them, and then down the hatch. And they were eating, and the goddamn legs are crawling all over the plate. And then they put the octopus in a tank because the legs regrow. If an octopus loses a leg, so they whack, 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 throw them in a tank. For about 4 months later, 8 new legs. Take them out of the tank, whack, 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 whack. And the poor octopus is going, Jesus Christ. You ever going to let me go back in the ocean? Oh, it was disgusting. He had this plate that was kind of curved. And they had soy sauce and hot sauce. And the legs are crawling all over the plate. She told Anthony, you dip them in the soy sauce, and then you go to the hot sauce, and the hot sauce kind of stuns them. Gives you enough time to get it down the hatch. And then they stopped at another stand that had black duck eggs. They take the goddamn eggs and they bury them in the ground for like a year. They dig them back up, and it's a delicacy. Blah. Almost as bad as China, where you can go into your local 812 at lunchtime and get yourself a vacuum-packed bag of chicken feet. Blah. I remember when my grandmother would make chicken soup. She'd put the feet in. They didn't eat them. She used them for flavoring. Because I told my grandmother, if I get a bowl and it's got a foot in it, I ain't eating your soup. Don't worry, it's for flavor. Well, I hope they washed them fuckers before you threw them in the goddamn soup pot. Them chicken walk all over their shit. They were clean, don't worry. Man, you ought to see the football I've got in the oven tonight. It is almost the size of a football. I never saw such a huge potato in my life. I got a bag of Yukon Gold because the baking potatoes were a little small. So I looked in the bag of Yukon Gold and they had some nice size. Well, I reached in the bottom of the bag, and this potato was a monster. You talk about alien. It is huge. And I'll tell you what, those potatoes bake to perfection. Absolute perfection. Yeah, they had generic potatoes, which I would think would be more for boiling, and they were $1.99 a bag. And then it was in a red bag. I don't know what they were. Those were $2.99 a bag. And the Yukon Golds were $3.99. But I'll tell you what. First of all, the potatoes are good size. You got some regular, little ones. But the bag had several fairly large ones. And then this monster for $3.99, well worth it. Because they bake to perfection. When I cut them potatoes in half, oh, they got that beautiful yellowish color. And I start putting all the butter, shredded cheddar, bacon bits, some smoky bacon cheese spread, and then a big dollop of sour cream. Whack. And when I get done, the plate is clean. Even though they're pre-washed, I give them a good scrub, and I let them dry, and then I use canola oil. Well, first of all, after I wash them, I poke them full of holes. That lets the steam out so they don't explode. Then I turn them upside down, and any potato juice that wants to come out, then I give them a good coating of canola oil, cracked pepper, Himalayan red salt, and then in the oven. And you know what's interesting? Now, they say salt is bad for you. Although my buddy's wife learned the hard way, cutting 100% salt out of your diet causes a blood pressure drop. And she passed out. Whacked her head, had to get 6 or 8 staples. I told her, I said, I read an article on salt. And the best salt for you is Himalayan red salt. They say it's the best out of, doctors preach, no salt, no salt. Out of all the salts, Himalayan red is actually the safest. So I get me a big bag of Himalayan red for $1.25 at Dollar Tree, and then I fill my salt shaker, and that's what I use, Himalayan red salt. It has a very good flavor to it. It's not like table salt, where table salt has that like vinegary taste if you use too much. But I eat everything, skin and all. Of course, that's where all the nutrients are, in the skin of a vegetable. That's like they tell you, don't peel carrots. If you're going to roast carrots or steam carrots, just wash them. The nutrients in the skin. Same thing like eggplant, any vegetable. The nutrient is in the skin. Believe me, matter of fact, I love baked carrots, roasted carrots. Every now and then, I'll hit it lucky. I call it the ready to rot rack. You know, it's the rack at the end of the produce counter that's got all the buy it or we're going to throw it away tomorrow. Every now and then, there'll be bags of carrots. I'll buy every bag because they're $1. Because I'm cheap. I'll bring them home, scrub them down, put them on a baking sheet, spritz them with a little buttery cooking spray, little red Himalayan salt, fresh cracked pepper, and I roast them. Because once they're roasted, you can put them in a Tupperware container and keep them for a couple days. You don't have to eat the 5 bags of carrots at once. But I never peel anything anymore. Never. If I'm making mashed potatoes, throw them in the pot. When they're done, mash them up. Because if you give them a good scrub, except for like the bags of generic potatoes, those will still have a lot of dirt on them. Your other bags of potatoes, they pre-wash them. Now, they do have a little bit of soil on them. So you stick them in the sink and you get a light bristle brush like I have and give them a good scrub, dry them down. Skin is delicious. To me, it's the best part. But that big football, oh, it is. It's like this size. It's huge. I've never seen it, but this thing looks like a baby watermelon, So, Yukon Gold. Grumpy will pay the extra money to get the perfect potato. Oh, Brussels sprouts. I love Brussels sprouts. I didn't get any this year because they were expensive. And there weren't even any on the ready to rot rack. But I love them. I love them. After they're roasted, just a little bit of vinegar and oil, a little spritz of salt and pepper. There's a meal right there in a bowl. But roasted carrots, I've loved carrots ever since I was a kid. Matter of fact, what my grandmother used to do was she would mash carrots in with the mashed potatoes. I was the only kid in the block eating orange mashed potatoes. Although she didn't have to because I like carrots anyway. But in order to get me to eat them, she thought she was being coy, How come my mashed potatoes are orange? It's a different type of potato. Just eat them. I buttered them already. I don't trust you. Give me the butter dish. Whack. You know another thing, Kathy, that I love to roast? Rutabagas. Roasted rutabagas are delicious. I don't care what the price is. If I have a taste for a rutabaga, I'll get me some. Absolutely outstanding. Another thing that I really like is turnips. Roasted turnips. Everybody turns their nose up. Turnip. But you got to remember, back during the Depression, a lot of people, that's all they ate was vegetables. And the vegetables that people turned their nose up with, were rutabagas, turnips, all the what they considered poor man vegetables. And a lot of families, that's what they lived on, a big pot of mixed vegetables. Very rarely do you hear of anybody eating turnips or rutabagas because, kids are so finicky. I ain't eating that. Well, your grandma grew up on that food. Well, then give them to grandma. I look at shopping carts as I'm going through a store, and I'll see what they've got for vegetables. I rarely see a bag of turnips. I rarely see rutabagas. A matter of fact, a lot of time, all I'll see is a bag of potatoes in a cart. Like, don't you people eat vegetables? And if you get, bird's eye frozen, all the nutrients are gone. I don't care what they tell you on the package. The nutrients are gone because they have to use such a high heat when they cook them. They cook the nutrients right out of them. I get fresh and I'll either steam or I'll roast. My rice steamer works great for steaming vegetables. There's a rack you put in the bottom of the pan. You fill the water just below the rack. Put your veggies in, put the lid on, hit the start. It's got an automatic timer. The thing knows the difference between steamed vegetables and rice. When it shuts off, done. Matter of fact, I used to have, because I bought them at the Chinese restaurant, I used to have steamer baskets. And when I moved, the girls that were packing my kitchen went, oh, what the hell's this shit? I unpack and go like, where's my steamer baskets? Oh, is that what they were? We thought it was mismatched stuff in the cupboard, so we just threw it away. Open the fridge. Where's my bacon grease crock? Oh, that disgusting looking white shit. We threw that away. We thought it was all spoiled. We thought you forgot about it in the back of the fridge. Oh, there was almost murder that day. Throw my goddamn crock away. You can do it, Kathy, you could do it with a strainer. Get a big enough pan, and all you need is like an inch of water, inch and a half. Put the strainer in the pot, put a lid or put aluminum foil over the top. It's a lost art. Steaming vegetables and roasting is a lost art. You rarely hear of people roasting vegetables. They'd rather, pay $10 a bag for bird's eye, I grew up on that food. I have to have it. Now, my son turns his nose up at it. Hey, fine. Make your own food. Which he does anyway. Yeah, ask a nutritionist. They're going to tell you it's the most nutritious, healthy food you can eat because all the nutrients are retained. Like you peel a carrot, it's like having a pizza with no sauce. The sauce is the flavor. The skin is the flavor. You peel a carrot and you boil it, and you got orange sawdust. There's no nutrition in it, hardly any flavor. You can't get that through to the younger generation that the reason that they're not super healthy is because all they eat is crap. Rather than coming home for a good home cooked meal, meat and potatoes and vegetables, they go to McDonald's. Get a Big Mac fries and a soft drink. Then they wonder why kids are so fucking overweight. All the fucking junk food. Same thing. You go in a store and you walk down the potato chip aisle. And there's every flavor of potato chip imaginable. And then you got cheese curls and regular popcorn, cheddar corn. It's just a 40-foot row of junk food. And what do you see in shopping carts? Junk food. Kid says, Mom, I'm hungry. Here, have some cheddar corn. They don't care about ruining your appetite here. Have some cheese curls. We're a generation of junk food eaters. People don't know what it's like to eat healthy. I eat healthy because, I got a bit of a suppressed immune system. I want to get as much vitamins and nutrients in me as possible. Like I said before, I'm walking around with tumors on every major organ. I want to keep them shrunk and in remission. Hopefully, next month the chest X-ray comes out normal. My oncologist said, something don't look right. Oh, wonderful. I just love hearing something don't look right. So I got to get a battery of chest X-rays, back, side, front, upside down, praying, and then a CT scan. Breathe. Don't breathe. Inhale. Hold it. Come out of the machine. You're not supposed to be moving. Oh, breathe. Thank you. I was turning blue. What are you having, a coffee break back there? In some necking session with a nurse? Pay attention. You tell me to hold my breath. Don't move. Don't breathe. When I come out of the machine, you're supposed to say, breathe. Oh, that last guy, I don't know what the hell he was doing. I go through the machine. I come out. You're not supposed to be moving. Oh, breathe. Can I have some oxygen? I think I'm going to pass out. I hope I don't get the same guy this time. Then I have to remember for my February 9th primary care visit, on the 7th, after midnight, I have to fast. So on the 8th, Van Priber can take a half gallon of blood so that when I go in on the 9th, he can give me hell about my cholesterol. You better not. Goddamn pills. Blood pressure pills, cholesterol pills. All of the loaded baked potatoes really aren't helping the cholesterol. I'll have to lay off of them for a couple of weeks. Although the blood pressure pills are working. I take it every single morning, first thing. Well, not first thing. What I do is I get up, I hit the bathroom, go out, make a cup of coffee, come in, boot the computer, and then take my blood pressure. And it's been quite low. Well, not low. But boy, it's dropped. I like seeing them numbers. What do you got? 128 over 75, 125 over 74. A little high that day, 130 over 80, 125 over 70, 128 over 76. Numbers been low. Believe me, this whole folder from when did I start? When did I start? February. First week of February last year. I have a year's worth of blood pressure in this folder. When I get low, I pull out the master sheet and I make copies so that I have a couple months worth of blank sheets. Everything's in this clear binder sheet from Staples. Come on, get in there. And it stays right here on top of my printer. Every morning. Blood pressure thing is right over there. Little cuff. If the cuff goes bad, I have the armband gigantic air pump. I have more blood pressure machines than China's got rice. Yep. Come on. Missed the ashtray. Got ashes all over the console. I don't want to hear nothing from you. Yeah, mine will go from, now, lately, like I say, I've been 127, 128, 120. Usually I go between 130 and 140. And anywhere from 65 to 80. But it's noticeably lower than what it was a year ago, believe me. I didn't realize it was that high. You know, well, a year ago, they used to take your vitals. Now, it's a rarity. So unless you're taking your own, you have no idea where you stand. I'll tell you what, I have bitched at my doctors. I'm like, how do you know where a patient is if you don't take their vitals? You know, they don't do blood pressure, they don't listen to your heart. Now, my pain management doctor, he constantly listens front, back, one quadrant, take a deep breath, hold it, let it go, move over again, take a deep breath, hold it, let it go. No, luckily I'm only on one. Matter of fact, I never even heard of it. Amlodipine. amlodipine, amlodipine. 5 milligrams. Never heard of the stuff. But it works. I can't remember what he had me on before. Well, not this doctor, my other primary care. Yeah, he put me on this amlodipine. I can't remember what I take for cholesterol. That's on my nightstand because I take that one before I go to bed. Pharmacy next to the console, pharmacy on the nightstand. More goddamn pills. Then they tell you, take them with water. Blech. First thing in the morning, water? I don't think so. All my pills go down with coffee. I don't tell my doctor that, though. Are you taking your medication with water? Oh, yeah. Matter of fact, I buy that fancy Fiji water. Top-notch water. God, there was a woman the other day. God, she must have had 100 gallons of water in 2 shopping carts. I think she was probably buying for, a store. They buy a bottle for $1.50 and they mark it up to $4 and they put it in their mom and pop shop, Goddamn thieves. She had to have 50-gallon jugs in each cart. She had 2 carts. Cleared the shelf. There was none left for anybody. Although what I'm thinking of doing, because they say it's better for my my coffee machine, getting a 5-gallon jug of either spring water or distillata. They make a little pump. You don't have to have a machine anymore. You get a little pump. Because they say what ruins the coffee makers is having to descale them 2-3 times a year. So, since that machine is, what have I had it now, 3 months? I think I got to buy the little pump and get me a 5-gallon jug of water. They say it makes better coffee. I don't know. The only time in Cleveland when you actually smell the chlorine in the water is when we have temperatures over 85. But I was talking to a guy in the store the other day, and he told me, he says, you shouldn't be using tap water in your Keurig. So I guess next time I go to Mark's, get me a jug. Order the pump. The little electric pump is only like $3 on Temu. Plug it into phone charger. Push a button. Yeah, mounts right on top of a distilled out of water jug. It's a plastic tube that goes all the way to the bottom. I don't want to have to buy a Keurig coffee maker every 6 months. And they say descaling them's really hard on the heating elements, so. Matter of fact, next time I go to Mark's, I'll have to see if they have any more of them bargain Jack Daniels bourbon flavored coffee. Stuff's actually pretty good. Especially get 12 of them for $2.99. Like, whoa, bargain. Because Grumpy is cheap. Now, I take it you didn't ask about the Bronco. Not that I'm in a big, well, was the temperature going to drop overnight? Everybody will be sliding around tomorrow. I got a 4x4. Whoa! I guess that 4x4 didn't work too well on that ice. Well, you never know. Inquire anyway. Tell them it's for some poor, broke down old fart in Cleveland that's got a 97 Nissan that's about ready to turn into a Flintstone mobile. But I'm sure, people see it. They're like, oh, you want to sell that? Although to a lot of people, it's just an old car. My major problem would be getting it here. Have to pay somebody to ship it. Unless it's drivable. Where's the closest Amtrak station? I could take Amtrak down and drive it back. I should be able to drive from there to here in a day. Weather and traffic permitting. I'll have to look at the mileage. See how many miles it is. I could do 500 in a day. Done it before. Just come down on Amtrak, bring my Garmin GPS. Plug in my address. Trundle on home. You should have a rough idea what the miles are, Kathy. Don't you come up here and visit any time? Come up and see your brother. Or he's like, just Skype me. I could do that. I could do that. Hell, from Milwaukee to home was 488 miles. I did that in no time. I could do 500 with no problem. Christ, 500 miles is nothing nowadays. Back in the day before, turnpikes and interstates, yeah, it was a little tough. Take Amtrak down. You could pick me up at the Amtrak station. Uh-oh. I could sit in the front seat of that nice F-150. Yeah, I wouldn't fly. If Amtrak did it in a day or less, I like riding a train. I miss it. I used to, twice a month, from Cleveland to Cumberland, Maryland, then I would drive a used car back here. The only problem was we were running at night, so I didn't get to see any scenery. But I enjoy Amtrak. I really do. Clackety, 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 clackety. Sooner or later, you're falling asleep. I used to sit with the conductor. Got to be a point, he saw me so many times, he's like, come on back here, sit with me, we'll talk. Boy, they got impressive uniforms. Man, them conductors look like doormen for the Ritz-Carlton. Then they go down the aisle with their punch. Got your ticket? Yep. Click. There you go. Ticket. Click. I had never, the first time he did that, I was like, they did that in the movies back in the 30s. He goes, yep, and we still do it today. We punch your ticket. I miss it. I really do. I enjoyed the hell, and it wasn't that expensive. I think it was like $39 or something. We're going back in time, but yeah, from Cleveland. Well, I had to catch it in Akron because Amtrak from the Cleveland station at 9th Street doesn't run to Maryland, to Cumberland. So I had to have a friend of mine take me to Akron. And then from Akron, you go to Cumberland, Maryland. And you leave like, we left like 11 o'clock. And you run all night. You get up to Cumberland in the morning. Oh, man. Sounds like I'd have to switch trains somewhere. I'm going to have to check that out. Cleveland to Memphis, huh? God, I hate the thought of switching trains. But if that's the only way I could do it. But then I'd get my Amtrak ride. Because I'll tell you what, when you're on Amtrak and you get outside the city limits, those engineers go full bore. When we were coming through the mountains, going in through PA, I said to the conductor, I says, how fast are we going? He says, about 97. I was like, you got to be kidding me. Yeah, they open it up. Once they get outside the city limits, them engineers, full throttle. Because Amtrak has priority. That's why, you'll see a freight train and it's going by at 50 miles an hour. You see an Amtrak going by, it's like, wow. I barely made out it was Amtrak. Not to mention the Amtrak engines are all streamlined. That's one thing I never asked the conductor. Can we go up and see the engine? Feel like a little kid. Can I blow the horn? Thank you. No, you can't sit on my lap. Can I sit in the driver's seat? No. Can I stand next to the driver's seat? Yeah, come on over here. See that? That's the speedometer. Holy shit, 102. I think I'll go back in my seat, put my seatbelt on. Thank you. All right, how far is it from Memphis? Sounds like I'm in trouble. I really don't want to take Greyhound. That'd be the only other way I go is Greyhound. Maybe I'd have to get an Uber to bring me halfway. You could meet me halfway. I'll get an Uber out of Memphis. We'll figure out a halfway point. I suppose that's the only place where a Greyhound station is too, Memphis. Boy, I sound like I'm getting screwed out of this deal. I'll have to look at both. Amtrak and Greyhound. Although, the buses are newer now. Yeah, I'm getting all wound up and we don't even know how much the price is yet. But it would be a nice train ride from Cleveland to Memphis. Got to be some beautiful scenery. Although I can see the scenery with a Greyhound too. As long as I don't have some Mexican sitting next to me with a burro. How'd that donkey get on this train? Oh, I'm sorry. It's your daughter. Sorry. First things first, I have to get the monitor programmed. Then I'll look into road trips. I hope they take their time. I hope it's not click here, click here, click here, do this, click that, save, next. Slow down. %80 of that shit I will not use. He admitted it to me. He said, if you're not playing the newest of games online, you will never use 80% of what we're gonna set on that goddamn monitor. But each and every box has to have a setting. Color, hue, oh man, stupid thing. Input source, that's easy. HDMI. Instructions, English. Okay. Hang on. Brightness, contrast, picture quality, display, audio, multi-window, OSD, whatever the hell that is. Then you go to the next screen. Then brightness, contrast again, color, temperature, picture quality, hue, display saturation, eye care. Then you go to the next screen, sharpness, overdrive, whatever the hell that is, overdrive, noise reduction, super resolution, dynamic luminous control, black level. Then you go to the next page of settings. Aspect ratio, picture quality, OSD, whatever that is. Multi-window, I'm not going multi-window. Input source, we already got the input source. What do we got again? Brightness control, volume, color setting, again. Picture quality setting, again. Display, again. Multi-window, again. But if you don't do each and every one of these, it won't. Oh, then you have, OSD horizontal position, OSD vertical position, OSD transparency, OSD timeout, OSD rotation. What the hell is all this shit? HDR, MPRT, OSD again. Picture quality again. 10 pages of bullshit, of which I won't use 80% of it. But they said you have to, each and every block has to have a setting before you can Move to the next page. Well, we've got 4 pages with a box for on-screen display. Thank God I've got people walking me through it. Ten pages, 80% I will never use unless I play a game. And I guess maybe after going through what sounds like an hour's worth of programming, maybe I'll play a game just to see what I'm missing. Although he did tell me, like, certain websites, they'll be more vibrant. If I'm watching YouTube videos, they'll be more vibrant. That means the blood, guts, and gore ones will really be neat. God, I watched a couple today. Oh, there was one. Oh, God, this Georgia trooper. He's chasing this guy in this Dodge Charger. And he pits the guy finally after about 18 miles. And they get out with their guns because they're doing a felony stop now. And the guy takes off. After all the troopers get out of their cars, he waits. They all get out. He takes off again. So now he has really pissed this Georgia trooper off. This Georgia trooper pits him again, and then 2 other cars blocks the guy in. The trooper comes around to the driver's side. He takes his 9mm, smashes out the window, and puts the gun right to the guy's nose. Are you done yet? And he's telling the guy, don't move. Are you done yet? And then he takes the gun. Yes. No. Are you done? Yes. I'm sure that trooper probably got his ass reamed when they played the tape. But, oh, yeah, he took his gun, busted the window out, stuck it right up against the guy's nose. Are you done? Yes. No. God, I'd have been done the first time they pulled guns on me. You got, like 6 troopers standing there with guns aimed at you, and you take off again. But I like how he took the gun. Yes. No. Are you done? The guy, yes. Then when the guy got out of the car, he had the gun in his ear. You move and I'll blow your head off. Put your hands behind your back. Almost as good as when they get tased. It's amazing how cooperative people get when they get tased. Put your hands behind your back. No. Okay. They cry like little babies. You didn't have to do that. Yes, I did. You wouldn't stop running. It was amazing. The guy stopped right half. He was right at one leg come up. Right on his face. Although they did have a couple of canine takedowns. Guy runs out in the woods. He tells the other troopers, hang on. Lets the dog go. They're standing there about 3 minutes. And all you hear is this blood-curdling scream. And the trooper goes, okay, just head towards the screaming. Goddamn dog's ripping the guy's clothes off. Good dog, good dog. He threw him a chew toy. Goddamn dog was happy as can be. I got a chew toy, I got a chew toy. I also got half a pound of skin out of his arm and about 3 pounds out of his ass. That trooper let the dog go. It was hilarious. He told the troopers, hang on. Put your guns away. Hang on. A couple minutes later, just head towards the screaming. Troopers all standing there waiting for the scream. Then you hear the blood-curdling scream. Okay, we know where he's at now. Dog did his job. Those are the best ones right there. Those are the best ones. First time I've ever seen that, though. Troopers, everybody, hang on. Put your guns away. Hang on. They're standing there, standing there. Then you hear a scream out of Halloween 3. Okay, head towards the screaming. That's what he said to him. Head towards the screaming. They get into the, there's a little clearing where the dog got the guy. The dog is ripping the shit out of this guy's clothes. His shirt was torn to pieces. His pants were all ripped. Underwear was all torn. Dog wouldn't let go either. He kept telling, giving a command to let go, let go. Finally, he waved a chew toy under his nose, and dog was like, oh, okay. I love police dog videos. Canines are the best. Because you always hear the scream. A big 300-pound, 6'5" guy screaming like a little girl in 3rd grade. Although they can scream pretty good when they get tased, too. There were a couple of good tasings. Real good tasings. There was one at the Columbus Zoo. They chased this guy. The officer, the trooper's like, taser, taser, taser. Yeah! Guy's vibrating on the ground. Turn over and put your hands behind your back. Then they stand the guy up and they just rip the barbs out. They didn't even wait for EMS. There. Isn't EMS supposed to do that? They'll put Band-Aids on them, don't worry. And that's what EMS did. They put a little antibiotic on there, a little antiseptic, big Band-Aid. There you go. You're good. There were 3 or 4 brand new Birdman chases. All in early January. The Birdman got a workout. And he said, from his first pursuit to today, and I don't know how long he's been a trooper, only one guy has ever gotten away. One guy. And he said that is the one that pissed him off the most. Because it was at night on the turnpike or on the interstate, and the guy was in a Charger or a Challenger, and he blacked out, and there aren't no street lights up on their throughways, and the guy got away. And the guy had gotten away previous from 3 other troopers. So Jacob Bird wanted this guy bad, but Jacob said, from day one, my first pursuit to today, only one guy's ever gotten away. And he's amazing. Come up next to a guy at 150 miles an hour. Think. Car never just hits the brakes, turns around before the vehicle stops rolling. Yeah, the man, the myth, the legend. Jacob Bird, the Birdman. Go to Arkansas, you don't want to be speeding. The Birdman will get you. Speaking of get you, I have a football that would like for me to get to it. So I think we're going to call it a show. If I can find the music. Here we go. We'll do the 1943 version. We know where, right here, home of 2 stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And with that, everybody have a wonderful rest of your evening. And Ron, get a hobby, buddy. Kathy, have a great evening. And we will meet again tomorrow night. And with that, 2 see yous. See you number 1. And per the OBS update, see you number 2.